Hey friends, Kevin Goehring, or Sacramento, Stockton area Realtor and lender, here with this week's weekly real estate report. Well, if you tuned in last week, you knew I was in Boston, Massachusetts, visiting my son who moved there. You know, the funny thing is people always ask, now that your son lives there, does he talk funny like he's from Boston? I really don't see why people think people from Boston talk funny. I think they talk normal. I actually really enjoyed my stay there. I tell you one thing though, it's wicked cold. So, but hey, not a big deal, right? We took the T, we went down, great food there. Maybe hit up Joe's. God, I love going to Joe's. You got to get the Cure Burger. It's got the burger, the baby back ribs on top of a egg over easy. Hey, maybe you go down to the Barking Crab. We got to get some lobster. It's a wonderful place to be. I already miss it. But I'm back here in California, back to work. And let me tell you, the first thing I did, hit the ground running when I came back, I listed this home right here. Check this one out. Let me get some statistics going on this one. This is in Carmichael, right across the street from a park in a very beautiful neighborhood, kind of a little pocket of nearly new homes. This one right here was built in 2005. It is over 3,300 square feet. You get 5 bedrooms out of this house. Look at this pool. Oh, it's an amazing pool. Waterfall feature, kitchen, gourmet kitchen. Tell you what, I love this house, really do. 3-car garage to boot. So this one got listed, just went on the market today for just under $800,000. So, hey, if you're looking for a really nice house in Carmichael, hit me up because this thing is gorgeous. I'm kind of a little jealous here on this one, thinking about, hey, this would be a nice place for me to live. But anyway, already got a house, right? So let's take a look at what's happening in the market overall. And look at that. Hey, inventory is starting to work its way up. Oh, you know, thank God on that one. Why is it going up? Well, first of all, it couldn't get much worse. So it's got nowhere to go but up. So that's our seasonal coming up. But you know what? It happened about a month earlier than it normally happens. And I think a little bit of that might be because the weather is still nice and people, you know, we started the buying season, selling season a little bit earlier. Of course, pending sales, as to be expected, already started its seasonal climb out. You know, there's a lot of questions about what's happening in the world and how does this necessarily affect the real estate market. You know, I've been thinking back and forth, you know, is it hurting it? Is it helping it? Is it having no effect? You know, in some cases it hurts the world situation with Russia and Ukraine. We're a long way removed, you know, to be honest with you. Yes, it affects us certainly emotionally. We care about what's going on. We care about these people. But as far as our day-to-day lives, you know, things move on. It's just the reality of it. People have to move. We have to go to work. We have to do what we have to do. So real estate is going to continue just to kind of do what it does. However, there's certainly on the bigger scope of thing, we have to think about money and rates and what's happening with rates. So we'll talk about that in just a second. Obviously, you know, supply and demand is still there, and we're just seeing prices go up and up and up. Let me look over here on my other screen, and I was just, as I pulled in and finished off the data from last week, because remember, things were a little slow to come in, it was almost shocking to see that the median price of homes listed, so that would be represented by the green line here, we're at $630,000 for the median list price, roundabout. So like it was $629, then it was $638. This week I'm looking at $630 again, so we'll call it $630. That is really high. And I'm seeing more and more folks priced out of the market, especially as rates are starting to creep up a little bit. And so that's definitely going to have some effect. We're going to start losing off buyers. However, you know, one thing that needs to be said, and you know, I listen to Tom Sullivan, a talk show guy out of New York. He's from Sacramento. Really appreciate listening to him because he's such a smart financial guy. And I'll give him credit for saying this. He says that, you know, the best cure for high prices is high prices. In other words, as prices continue to go up, and this is everything with inflation, price of cars, homes, groceries even. As prices go up, people stop buying. I know you're saying, well, we can't stop buying groceries, can't stop buying gas, but to a point you can. You drive less. You stop buying things that you don't need at the grocery store. Trying to think of something we don't need. I was going to say cake, but no, that goes on the needs column. Potato chips, needs. I don't know. Somebody will think of something. But you know what I'm saying? We stop buying those things and start buying more of the staples, what we have to have. And to an extent, that helps. Not so much for the things we have to have, right? But things we don't have. Okay, so as more and more people get priced out of the market, you have fewer and fewer buyers, there's less competition, supply and demand, prices could potentially come down for that. But rates certainly have an effect on that because, you know, if I'm showing somebody a home or you're looking for a home and a lender has said, well, your max qualifying is $500,000, right? And you go out and you're looking at a home and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't even want this home. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, fixer-upper in an area I don't want to live in. It's $500,000. Rates go up. That $500,000 purchase price drops down. Well, now your lender says, well, that was last week's rate. This week you can only afford $475,000. And now you're looking at prices went up on homes. You went down, and now what you can afford is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath home in an even worse neighborhood. And at some point people say, well, I'm not going to buy right now. I'm going to continue to rent. Well, of course, that's going to have an effect on the rental market. And it just kind of continues to make a big mess. But just thinking, so where is it going with this? Well, as people get priced out of the market and there's fewer buyers, then of course supply and demand, and the prices do tend to come down, but your payment's going to stay the same, which kind of kills you. I guess the saving grace of that, as the home prices come down, the taxes come down. So there's some good news there. What else do we have? Well, let's talk about some good news for rates, since we're talking about rates. And we're talking about the global economy. Well, one good thing out of the global economy or the turmoil we're having is that investors want safety. Well, the stock market is not necessarily a safe place. And so if investors pull their money out of the stock market and they go for bonds, which are considered a little bit safer, then we have more competition for bonds. And if we look at the 10-year treasury, as more people want to buy the bonds, the yield, the amount of profit we'll say that you get tends to decrease because more people want them, right? So more people want it, then hey, why offer them a great deal? Why offer them more interest back? So that drops down. As the 10-year treasury drops, that yield drops, so do mortgage rates. So as more people have moved over towards treasuries and bonds, then the yield has dropped, therefore rates have followed down. So rates went down this week. So how about that? So last week we were at 3.89. Week before that we're at 3.92. So 3.92, 3.89. Now we're down to 3.76. It's about 0.1% better this week than last week. So, and again, those are the average rates, not my rate. The Freddie Mac reported average rates. I think that's a better thing to talk about. So rates have gone down, which means your buying power went up a little bit, which could cause home prices to go up a little bit. We'll see what happens on that one, right? So anyway, that's what's going on this week. Hopefully that made some sense to you because I really tried to. Anyway, hey, I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope to see you here next week. Take care. Bye.